Some nights in space aren't silent, they're waiting. A visitor from a forgotten star system is racing toward our sun, and every major telescope on Earth is locked on it. It's not a normal comet. It's not behaving like anything we've ever seen before. Its light is wrong. Its composition is wrong. Even its movement defies our models. And now, it's about to vanish behind the sun's glare forever. Before it disappears, we have one last chance to understand it, or realize we never could. Not all cosmic visitors arrive with warning. Some appear as faint signals hidden inside forgotten data, errors no one expected to notice, and when we finally do, they're already too close to ignore. In early 2025, astronomers began tracking an unusual object moving rapidly into the inner solar system. At first, it looked insignificant, just another tiny point of light in a sky full of them. But something about it didn't add up. Its trajectory was wrong, its speed was extreme, and its brightness was increasing far sooner than it should have. They named it 3IATLAS, the third interstellar object ever confirmed to pass through our solar system, only the third in human history. Before it, there was Oumuamua in 2017, the strange, elongated object that accelerated without visible propulsion and refused to behave like a normal comet. It left scientists divided, uncertain, and uncomfortable with their own models of physics. Then came 2I Borisov in 2019, a much more familiar visitor, a comet that behaved almost exactly as expected, except for one thing. It wasn't born here. But 3IATLAS did not belong to either category, and that's where the real mystery began. What made this even more unsettling was the fact that Atlas didn't actually see it first. Weeks after the official discovery announcement on July 1st, 2025, scientists reviewing older data made an unexpected find. The object had already been observed on May 7th, 2025, by NASA's TESS satellite, which was scanning the sky for distant exoplanets. Back then, 3IATLAS was still located beyond the orbit of Jupiter, and yet, it was already glowing. That shouldn't happen. Normally, comets only begin to glow when they move closer to the sun and start heating up. Their frozen surfaces sublimate. Ice turns directly into gas, forming the bright cloud known as a coma. But at that distance, it's far too cold. Comets are usually dark, inert, nearly invisible. But 3IATLAS wasn't. It was bright, and getting brighter, almost as if something inside it had already awakened. Then came the calculation that confirmed it wasn't just strange. It was foreign. The object was traveling on a hyperbolic trajectory, meaning it was not bound by the sun's gravity. It wasn't orbiting our star. It was passing through, a cosmic traveler. To understand how fast that is, compare it to Voyager. When NASA launched Voyager toward Jupiter, it took nearly 2 years to reach its orbit. 3IATLAS traveled similar distances in a fraction of that time. By September 2025, it had already passed Mars. By October 29th, it would make its closest approach to the Sun. And by the following spring, it would be back near Jupiter's orbit again, leaving our system forever. Far too fast for gravity to capture. Far too fast for coincidence. Then the data started revealing something even stranger. As more telescopes turned their focus toward the object, including Hubble, TESS, and the James Webb Space Telescope, astronomers made a shocking discovery about its composition. The glowing cloud around it, its coma, was made mostly of carbon dioxide, not water. In normal comets, water ice dominates. It's the main driver of activity as they approach the sun. But in the case of 3IATLAS, the ratio of carbon dioxide to water was measured at nearly 16:1, 16 times more CO2 than expected. This wasn't just unusual, it was unprecedented. Worse, The CO2 cloud around it was absolutely massive. Observations suggested the coma extended up to 300,000 kilometers wide, almost half the diameter of the Sun. Yet the object at its center might only be around 40 to 46 kilometers across. A relatively small core, surrounded by a vast expanding alien envelope. This suggested that 3IATLAS didn't form in a solar system like ours at all. It came from a place with completely different chemistry, different temperature conditions, different stellar history. It was, in every sense, alien. And then, the tail pointed the wrong way. A comet's tail should always point away from the Sun, pushed outward by solar wind, a constant stream of charged particles flowing from the Sun into space. It's a basic law of comet physics. But in the case of 3IATLAS, multiple observations suggested that part of its tail was forming toward the Sun, against the solar wind. It was like seeing smoke flow into a fire instead of away from it. Scientists rechecked their data. They recalibrated their instruments. They ruled out visual artifacts. But the anomaly remained. Something about the interaction between 3IATLAS and solar radiation didn't make sense. And then came one of the most unsettling discoveries of all. Using the Very Large Telescope, VLT, in Chile, astronomers detected nickel metal in the object's coma, but no iron. This troubled scientists deeply because in nature, nickel and iron are almost always found together. They're forged together in dying stars, ejected through supernova explosions, and scattered across galaxies. Asteroids, moons, and planets contain both. The only situation where nickel appears without iron is when humans deliberately separate them through industrial processes. So how did it happen here? How did an object traveling between stars carry purified nickel in its surrounding gas, but no detectable iron? No confirmed natural explanation exists. And that's when the speculation truly began to spread. Some scientists, more cautious than others, suggested extreme possibilities, not as conclusions, but as hypotheses that couldn't yet be ruled out. What if 3IATLAS wasn't just a comet? What if it was an artificial object, a fragment of technology from another civilization, a long-dead probe drifting between star systems, a massive structure venting gases as part of some unknown process? Others proposed an even more radical idea. What if it was alive? A form of cosmic organism feeding on interstellar material as it traveled, releasing carbon dioxide as a metabolic byproduct, just as life on Earth exhales CO2. No one could prove these ideas, but for the first time, no one could completely dismiss them either. Time, however, was not on our side. By late October, 3IATLAS would disappear from Earth's view as it passed behind the Sun. Before that happened, the European Space Agency planned a final series of observations using Mars Express and ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter as it passed within 28 million kilometers of Mars. Not close enough for fine detail, but close enough to possibly capture its shape. Even a silhouette would be revolutionary. But there was still one last opportunity on the horizon. In March 2026, as 3IATLAS leaves the inner solar system, it will pass near Jupiter again, at a distance of about 53 million kilometers. And orbiting Jupiter right now is NASA's Juno spacecraft. Originally, Juno was scheduled to end its mission by diving into Jupiter's atmosphere, sacrificing itself for science. But some scientists are now considering another possibility. What if, instead of destroying it, they redirect it? What if Juno became humanity's final messenger, a machine built around Earth, intercepting a visitor from another star? Even from a distance, the data it could collect might change astronomy forever. But after that, 3IATLAS will be gone. It will vanish back into the darkness between stars, where no human probe can follow, where its origins may forever remain unknown, but its message will remain, whether it was a rare and exotic comet or something far more incredible. It reminded us of one undeniable truth. We do not yet understand the universe, and sometimes, when the universe sends us a visitor, it's not to give us answers. It's to make sure we keep asking questions. 3IATLAS will soon vanish beyond our reach, carrying its secrets back into the dark between stars. Maybe it was just a strange comet. Maybe it was something else entirely. But one thing is certain. Space just reminded us how little we truly understand. If you enjoy these deep cosmic mysteries, like the video, subscribe to Cosmic Files and turn on notifications, because the universe doesn't wait, and neither do its secrets.